we'll start with the Crown Jewel predictions now. They just added this to the Crown Jewel card on Monday. WWE Women's Tag Team title rematch from Raw. On Raw Monday night, we saw Alexa Bliss and Asuka become the new WWE Women's Tag Team champions, knocking off Damage Control. We're getting the rematch on Saturday on this show. I would think that they're doing a rematch, very likely to give the belts back to Damage Control. Otherwise, what's the point? We already have 7 matches on the show. Bray Wyatt's going to be there. Why have this match unless they're putting the belts back on them? And if they do that, again, begs the question, why even do that? The whole tag team title thing is a mess. The titles mean nothing. The match itself on Monday was fine. The titles I just can't bring myself to care about. Damage Control is becoming damaged goods very quickly. And I don't know, I can't really bring myself to care, but I do expect Damage Control to get back the belts here.
You think they're going to win the belts back?
I think, because otherwise, why would they do a rematch if the match isn't really necessary on the card? That's my thing.
But then why take the belts off in the first place?
Exactly. Probably just to switch things up, which is still probably just to end the show on a big no. I don't know.
Ah, goodness. I'm going to say Bliss and Asuka retain. They can't win the belts back again. I mean, I guess they could, but I just feel like it would just be like...
I think it doesn't really help anyone, because if they put the belts back on them...
I mean, I think it helps Bliss and Asuka they keep winning. I mean, theoretically, but...
No, I know, but it does more damage to Damage Control is the problem.
They're already done enough damage. They're damaged goods at this point, so... I'm going to say Bliss and Asuka retain. I think it would be extremely dumb to put the belts back on them.
Let's talk about Damage Control. Bayley is getting one more shot of the Raw Women's Championship. I would assume one more shot. Maybe they have another rematch. Who knows? But it's going to be a last woman standing match, which I'm looking forward to. Bianca Belair and Bayley. The matches have been very good. Bianca won the first one at Extreme Rules, not counting the ones from 2020 and 2021 on SmackDown. But she won the Extreme Rules one last month. Bayley beat her on Raw 2 weeks ago. And now we're getting the third match in this incarnation of the feud on Saturday. This one is tough because I think it can go either way. I want Bayley to win. I'm going to go with Bayley to win. But I think I already texted you this. I could very well see Bianca winning. And I know you said, well, Bayley kind of has to win to salvage Damage Control. And I agree. That's why I'm just going to pick her just because I think she kind of needs to. But I could very well see a scenario where Bianca retains and they just keep the belt on her until WrestleMania season to defend against Charlotte Flair or someone else. I honestly don't really know if they see Damage Control as a priority. And like we said over text in the last couple of days, if Damage Control loses this match, or if Bayley loses this match specifically, Damage Control has got to be done. I cannot see how they continue on to the group with Bayley losing again to Bianca and them having any heat whatsoever.
No, yeah, I mean, if this match literally will say if they think Damage Control is a thing that they need to keep going with, or that they... Yeah, I mean, that's literally what the result of this match will be. If they don't see them being a threat anymore, she'll lose and we'll move on. If they win, then I think... I mean, I could even see if she wins, like, maybe they do, like, a little tweaking of the group. And, I don't know, I like Io Sky a lot, but she just, like, she sticks out like a sore thumb in this group. I like Dakota a lot. I don't know, just they have never really gelled. Like, it was a cool thing. Like, we were there when they came back, and everyone thought it was a cool idea, and it was all great, and kumbaya, but I don't know, they just don't really... fit, and I think there's a good chance, like, even if Bayley wins, they could do a thing that maybe they kick Io out of the group because she just doesn't fit in the group. It just I don't know, it just hasn't really clicked, and I don't know, I guess we'll see from there. But if she doesn't win, they might as well just break up the group. Then where's she going to go for next? It's not like there's other titles for her to go to. She going to go after the tag titles with the other two? No. So I think Bayley, if the group's going to continue, she needs to win. I think Bianca's going to win. And then we just see, like, and then we move on. I just don't know why you'd give Bayley so many wins as they have if at the end of the day she's not going to win the belt. Like, she pinned Bianca on Raw, and she pinned Bianca at Clash of the Castle. And, I mean, maybe she could win, and then, like, they have some alliance with Nikki Cross, which I kind of hope not, because they did, like, that little segment backstage on Raw, which I hope not, but that's the only way I could see her winning. So, I'll go with Bayley, but if they lose, they're done.
That was another thing, too. Nikki Cross, when she returned last week on Raw, attacked both women. She attacked Bayley and she attacked Bianca. And then she was backstage with Damage Control this week without any explanation whatsoever. I thought that was really stupid. But, so here's the thing. I'm not confident with Bayley winning. She is my pick, as she is for you, as you just said. Bianca winning is very, very likely. But here's the thing, though. The only reason why I go with Bayley, the only edge I give it to Bayley is for this reason. is because they have War Games in a couple of weeks. What is even the point of doing War Games if Damage Control have no control over anything? If they don't hold the tag titles, which I said they might get back, who knows, they might not. And if Bayley doesn't win the big one, what's even the fucking point of doing a War Games match? There's no personal beef. If Bianca beats her every time it matters, then why even do a War Games match, you know? So that's why I think Bayley kind of has to win here.
No, yeah, that's why, like, I texted you on Monday, and I was like, I think they dropped the belt so Bayley could win. And you're like, why would it? Well, the whole bloodline. But I think it's more the fact that, like, if they drop the belts here, then Bayley would have to win because, like you're saying, there's no reason to have a War Games match. If they have all 3 belts and they beat them at every turn, then it literally would make no sense. So I think they drop the belts to Asuka and Alexa, kind of give them something, kind of like build them up, and then Bianca loses the belt to Bayley, and then we go into War Games. I'm assuming, at this rate, it'd probably be, I would assume it's Damage Control and Nikki Cross versus Bianca, Bliss, Asuka, and LeRae, I would assume at this point.
Yeah, I know we were thinking at one point Becky, but I'm not sure if Becky's going to be back in time. So, which would be cool, and it would make sense because she was at SummerSlam when they debuted, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Unless it's 5-on-5 and they get another woman in there. I've kind of given up on the idea of Sasha being back in time. I know there was an update on her status. I don't get the sense that she'll be back anytime soon. I thought she would either return in time for Survivor Series or at the pay-per-view. It's still possible. They're in Boston, but maybe she just... I think she will be back at some point, along with Naomi, but they're probably just still enjoying being out, doing other things right now, so I guess not. They're enjoying their vacation. But yeah, no, I feel like Bayley kind of has to win here, and it would be pretty fucking comical to do a women's War Games match with a group that means nothing if Bayley loses on the show and Io and Dakota. Io got pinned on Monday, so... maybe they replace her with Tegan Nox, as you said. I know there was interest in bringing Tegan back. She had a visa issue. I would think if they employ her, then that visa issue would be fixed because they fired her, and that's where the problem came from in the first place. And she hasn't wrestled in a whole last year. I don't know. I think that they can bring her back in. That's my hope. But we'll see. We'll see. As far as the other matches on the card, Braun Strowman and Omos, this has got to be an easy win for Strowman, right?
Yeah, you say easy win, but I don't know if it was easy. I don't know. I feel like...
You think they might give it to Omos? You think there's a chance?
Anything's possible.
Well, anything's possible, of course.
They're going to be in the crown jewel of the Middle East in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, so anything's possible. But I think the thing is with this is I feel like if Braun wins, Omos is gone.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's why I'm saying this. That's why I say Strowman wins.
NXT, go back or release. He needs to get better. They just need to move on. For him specifically, the bloom's off the rose. He's 7'3", but he can't walk. So it is what it is. He's got to at least train a little bit more. He just got to cut bait. So I'll go with Strowman because that's who I was going to pick. But I don't think it's as easy as you said. But if he loses, have fun in Orlando or have fun in your future endeavors because I just don't see a future for him if he's losing to Strowman here.
Well, like I said earlier, I think the push for Omos is almost over after Saturday when he loses because I just can't see a scenario where Strowman comes back, and to his credit, has been very fucking over. Strowman has been white hot since coming back. Not to say they should put the world title on him, but I think they kind of figured out, when I say they, I mean Triple H, and we'll see what they do going forward. They know what works for Strowman. People want to see Strowman just wreck people. And that's what he's done since coming back, whether it be Otis or Chad Gable and now Omos. It's this whole spectacle, Battle of the Titans type thing. No one gives a shit about Omos, but from a visual standpoint, it's cool. The match will probably be a disaster. It could exceed expectations. I don't want to completely write them off, but I don't know. I think Strowman wins here and they move on. I don't want to see this rubber match bullshit. Just have it be a one and done. Strowman wins, and then maybe he sets his sight on Roman Reigns, and they do a match on Survivor Series or SmackDown or I don't know, the Rumble or something. I don't know. Not that I really want to see that, but Strowman's been rolling. There's no real reason to interrupt that by having him lose here. I feel like that'd be silly.
Yeah, no, the Strowman Express it's on the tracks. He was probably one of, if not the most over person on SmackDown when we went.
I was going to say, yeah.
The loudest reaction besides the Bloodline, honestly.
It works. Listen, for as much as we said he was damaged goods before he left and whatnot, and coming back, I wasn't the most excited. Not that he's the reason I tuned into SmackDown, but listen, he's very over with all audiences. They use him well. He's not out there doing 10-minute dialogues and whatever, monologues, and Yeah, they've used him perfectly fine, and in the way that he should have been used the last time he was in the company. So I think they've definitely booked him perfectly well, and he should not lose here, I don't think. SmackDown Tag Team titles, the Usos and the Brawling Brutes. I know the Usos break the New Day's record not this weekend, but I think next weekend. I think if they get to next Sunday, they're the longest reigning tag team champions in history. I think Gallus may have had a longer run in fucking NXT UK, but they don't acknowledge that. So as far as the New Day's record go, I think they break the record next weekend. And the New Day have been built up on SmackDown a little bit. So what I'm thinking is they beat Brawling Brutes here. Obviously, I just can't see Brawling Brutes winning. And then they face the New Day on SmackDown. Because they're so close to the record, they'll probably save it for that day as opposed to doing it on pay-per-view. So I'm thinking the Usos retain here, and we get Usos and New Day on SmackDown, and the Usos win that as well.
I completely agree. No need to add anymore.
Yeah, no reason to have them not break the streak and have New Day get the belts back for the 30th time. Let's see. Drew McIntyre and Karrion Kross steel cage match. Rematch from Extreme Rules. The feud's been all right. I think the feud's been good. I like Karrion. You know, he won the last match, which wasn't stellar, but I thought the match was decent enough. He did win with help of Scarlett, which was silly. He should have just won clean. Drew has now lost. He's now lost 2 big matches. I think he kind of needs this one to win. Karrion won't be buried to me. We talk about it all the time. It's all about the aftermath. I think if Karrion loses here, it's fine, but it's how he's booked after the fact and if he can bounce back. And I think he can if booked properly, and he's not just an afterthought on the show. But I'm thinking Drew wins this one after losing at Extreme Rules and at Clash of the Castle.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I assume there'd have to be a rubber match. I mean, this would be their second match. They'd have another one. I mean, if Drew won here just to kind of get some momentum back, just to eventually lose the Cross the third time, I'm fine with it. I definitely don't want him to win here and then pull like the Chris Jericho MJF and have him win the first 2 and lose at the end when it matters most, or the last thing you remember is him losing. So, in a steel cage, like I said, they could do like maybe some shenanigan. Drew like escapes the cage. I don't really want Cross to be getting pinned right now, but yeah, I think this will probably be the second match of a 3-match series. So I'm not against Drew winning here.
Yeah, no, I'm all for Cross winning another match, but I think Drew wins here, and they could do a third match. Maybe it's Survivor Series. I'm kind of fine if they just move on from it. It's been going on for a while now, but, you know, Cross could win a third match. I think Drew, I don't know. I don't really know what you do with him next. I don't really know what you do with Cross next either, so they're kind of an interesting spot right now, and we'll see coming out of Crown Jewel. Let's see, talked about that. All right, 3 matches left. OC and Judgment Day, 6-man tag team match. Another one that kind of goes straight down the middle here. I could see either team winning. The story is that OC have no one to combat Rhea Ripley. They've teased someone. I don't know, honestly, have any clue who that person would be, if it's a free agent, if it's someone already in the roster. I've said Piper Niven / Dewdrop. I think that would not make a lot of sense, but she has history with Rhea, and she would be a threat to Rhea, as opposed to bringing in like Candice or something. That wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. You know, Mia Yim, they're interested in bringing back. Would people really care in Saudi Arabia about that? I don't think so. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense anyway. Her and Rhea have no history. And I'm going to say OC win this, and it's interesting because we said going into Extreme Rules, Judgment Day, if they lose here, they're done. You know, it's honestly amazing. I'll say this. They've actually done a great job of rehabbing Judgment Day. Like, they're not doing the spooky shit. Dominic's improved a little bit. He's improved enough. The rest of the group is good. They've won a lot of their matches on TV. They stand tall most weeks. I mean, them winning here would be fine. I feel like the OC need to win more than anything, honestly. But I feel like Judgment Day have improved a lot, and they're not the damaged goods that we thought they were a couple of months ago.
No, I mean, I completely agree. Like you said, though, it's always with the aftermath. They were literally losing at every turn, whenever it mattered most. Like you said, especially on Raw lately, they've stayed tall. They've felt like they've gelled more as a group, so yep. I don't know if adding Dominic helped in that aspect, or just like they've had more time together, so they've started to gel a little better. But no, I think they've been great. I mean, Piper Niven would be great to have her combat Rhea. Seen other people say Raquel. I mean, that'd be pretty cool as well. I mean,
that could make sense, yeah.
She's on SmackDown, but that doesn't really matter. So yeah. I think either of the two would be great. I mean, I don't think you can bring another free agent in. Just you have good people. Just
I agree.
I realistically, I like your idea. I just switch her to Piper Niven and have her go after Rhea. I mean, we know how good she is. She's not a good, capable wrestler under Dewdrop. It's just a dumb thing. So.
No, yeah. I mean, if they give Nikki Cross her name back, I think Dewdrop's getting Piper Niven back too.
Yeah, I agree. So I would have the OC win here. Like you said, if you could have, I would say I would go with Piper Niven. So I like that idea. OC wins here. But no, yeah, they've rehabbed the Judgment Day great. I think Dominic's been doing great work. Rhea, even Balor and Priest, I feel like they're starting to come back into their own as a group. So they're doing well. I mean, they have the modern day Eddie Guerrero with them. So fucking exploded when he said that. Like, amazing heat. I love it. Him and Rhea just have, like, even them two, like, they have a great connection in the group, and it's really been firing on all cylinders lately.
Yeah, I don't love the whole mommy thing. I think that's a little weird, but that's just me. I think it seems like most people like it. And Dominic, like I said, listen, he's improved a bit. He's not, ready for the main roster on his own yet. If they broke him off on his own, he's probably, being in the Judgment Day has helped a lot. But still, I think when it runs its course, it's really the question of whether he sticks around on Raw or not. But for now, I think he's done well, and we'll see how he holds up in this match. And then we get to the top two matches here. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley. 2 from the Royal Rumble earlier this year when Bobby won. This is the rematch. I think Brock wins. Brock lost at SummerSlam. He lost at WrestleMania. He lost at, the Rumble to Bobby, and he lost to Roman last year at Crown Jewel. He's lost a lot in the last year, a lot more than people remember. So he's only won a few different matches, not many. I think maybe at Day 1 and then Elimination Chamber and the Rumble match, which barely counts. But I'm going to say that Brock wins this match and gets back in the winning column.
Yeah, this one's a little bit tougher because, like, Bobby, he did cost Bobby the title. But Bobby has won a lot lately, like you said.
I don't think Bobby's, like, buried if he loses, though.
No, he's not. Yeah. He's not. I know. I think, like you said, I think Lesnar does need to win more. Obviously, people are just paying attention to see him, and he'll always be over, but people that have been watching, like you said, he hasn't won in probably close to a year at this point, so he does need wins if you're still going to utilize him for what he is. So I would have Brock win here.
Yeah, I just think it makes the most sense. Bobby can be fine, and they can always build to a rubber match. I don't know. I wouldn't have said that 6 months ago. I would not have said that a year ago because Bobby was in the process of being built up. I'm at a point now where I'm comfortable with Bobby losing matches like this, as long as he doesn't lose like his next 6 pay-per-view matches. But like I feel like he's established enough as a main eventer. He's won the title twice. He's won a lot of his matches in the last couple of years, in the last year or two. He was United States champion for a good period of time up until recently. He had a good run. I think he's won enough to where he can afford a loss here, especially if Brock, I don't know if it's clean or like maybe it's a no contest. I don't know. I am hoping for a better match, though. That first one was good. I was hoping for a lot better. I was hoping for an all-out brawl. We didn't really get that, and I'm hoping we get that here, especially with no interference or bullshit or whatever, like from Roman Reigns or Paul Heyman. I'm hoping we just get a straightforward hoss fight in this match. And then we get to the main event, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, undisputed WWE Universal Championship. I will give them this. They're doing a nice job of playing up Paul's like, one-shot punch. Maybe he can punch him and win the title. And I know they're bringing in Jake Paul to be there, like, whatever. I know he won his last fight, so they're going to tell that story. Maybe his brother will do the same thing. What I really like about the feud itself has been whatever, but what I really like about it lately is that Roman has acted offended and frustrated that people are actually talking about Logan as a threat to his title. That rant that he went on in the camera on Monday's Raw when he walked the back was fucking great. I've watched it like 3 times. It's awesome with the music playing in the background and Heyman looking at the camera all confidently with that smug smile of his. It's just great. The Bloodline stuff with Sammy and everyone else continues to be fucking spectacular. So obviously Roman wins here, LOL, as he should. But I'm looking forward to seeing how this plays out, though.
No, I think this will be a good match. I think they've built it up pretty well from when they started. Like I said, the stuff on Raw was great with Roman talking to the camera. And like you said, Heyman kind of like reinforcing it. The whole Bloodline shit, they're literally like must-see TV right now. Like, they're literally tuning in to SmackDown just to watch them. Like, the Uzi shit from last week had me on the ground, had my dad dying laughing. Like, it is really good stuff that they're doing, even being on Raw as well. Just even without the rest of the Bloodline, it was good. So I think this is good for, like I said, they're going to the Crown Jewel of the Middle East in Riyadh, and it's the perfect match to have there because they love things that we don't love here, so we just give them what we don't want. So we don't want Roman versus Logan Paul in the United States, so we'll give it to Riyadh. So there you go. It is what it is. They like the big spectacle. It's the Crown Jewel of the Middle East, so you guys get Logan Paul.
Yep, and that's what they're getting. Listen, I think the match could be fine. I think Logan Paul can go in there and do well. Listen, we saw him training with The Miz. We were there. We met the guy, and I thought he did a good job against The Miz at SummerSlam. And the WrestleMania match, the tag match was good too. So if he's training, and I know he is, I've seen videos with him and Sean and him and Helms. It was there at the training session that we were there for. I think he's going to do well, and I think this could be a good match. I think they can gel in the ring. They could tell that story. There's going to be that close 2 count, like 1, 2, and then 2 3/4. He kicks out, Roman does, and then he wins soon after. I think it's going to be... It's one of those matches where it's like the Goldberg match where it works, because I know Vince isn't in charge anymore, but you never, like you said earlier, anything can happen, specifically in WWE. Anything can happen. You worry they might do the wrong thing and shock the world by having Logan win. Very honestly, it's possible. I'm not saying it's going to. It's a long shot, but anything can happen. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes, and I think it's going to be a good match, and Roman's reign continues as we head into War Games, and